YouTube beauties. I hope you're having a fabulous Monday. Look at my hair grew so much. I'm so happy because you know the Dominicans, they get scissor happy, and a few months ago it was like up to here, so it grew a lot. I'm happy about that. Dominicans, shout out to Dominicans, I love them. But yeah, so basically on Saturday I feel like I was harassed by school safety. It's not all school safety officers. It's just for those of y'all from Brooklyn, New York, Franklin K. Lane, 999 Jamaica Avenue, it has a bad reputation, and I get that, but that's not a reason to harass a parent. And my son was telling me, because my son just started high school this school year, so he's been telling me for months, like, Ma, they be going in, da-da-da. I was like, well, just make sure, if you got to take your belt off, I told him, I was like, just make sure it's off before you even get in. This way you can save time. There's nothing you can do. I'm one person. If the white schools, they don't have metal detectors, we shouldn't have it either. But that's going to take a collective. That has to take more than just me saying that. You know, black people, obviously, they don't feel no way about it. And that's why we have it in our schools, you know. So I made a complaint. I called 301, shout out to them. I made a complaint because I come in, I'm told take everything out of my pocket, which I did comply. I put my purse through the machine, and I was still wanded. And every time, it's to a point that I don't even, you know, that's my son. But I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go through this 3 more years, because he's only in 9th grade. So I gotta go through this 3 more years, you know, when I'm visiting his school. It's to a point when I'm like, you know what, for PTAs, I'm gonna start doing that virtually, because, you know, now Saturday wasn't a PTA, he had an event. They do it every year with Uncommon versus Uncommon with the drum line, and my son is on the step team. So his step team performed. It was, you know, something really small. It's not like it was a bunch of people, so that's why I didn't understand that, because I could understand if it's a bunch of people. Like there was a performance at our high school, Tri-State. It was a Tri-State competition. I didn't go through any, I think it was a metal detector, but it was 1, 2, 3. I don't even remember it. It was just such a, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't nothing crazy. But to come to my son's school and I have to be treated like I'm in Rikers Island, that's not right. It's not fair. It's barely nobody was in the building, you know, because his school is small. His school only got like 500 kids. And then it's only the drum line and the step team that was there. So it was like about maybe less than 100 people in the audience. You know, it was parents, teachers, but, you know, it was just us. Very intimate. And so I don't feel like I should have had to been wanded. That's totally unnecessary. So I made a complaint. I was given an address to send a letter to Eric Adams. And that's what I wanted to, my message to my parents. You have high school kids. Pay attention to how these school safety officers are treating you. Because at the end of the day, we matter. We're citizens. And to make it sad, it's our own kind. It's our own kind. And then when you tell somebody, they like, oh, that's the rules. I'm like, you sound like a slave. Because what you mean that's the rules? So guess what? It used to be rules to beat your slave. That used to be a rule too. It used to be legal to have a slave captive. That's why I don't understand when people talk about rules. Rules are meant to be broken, and not all rules are right. Why is there metal detectors in black schools and not white schools? Virginia, you know, well, Virginia Tech was a college, but Columbine, they were the first school to have a shootout. They still don't have metal detectors, even after that incident. You know what I'm saying? That's where the shootouts and stuff is going on, but they will never get metal detectors. You know, so why is it in our schools, black schools in the hood? It's not right. And then it's one thing to have metal detectors, but there's no reason to treat parents like that. Why are you wanding me and everything is out of my pocket? There's nothing in my pocket. What are you wandering for? And you see I have a zipper. Common sense. If you see I have a zipper, it should be, okay, miss, you can go, you good, you good. That's it. I took everything out of my pocket. My purse went through the machine, and then you're still gonna wand me? It's Saturday, dude. Like, it's very annoying. It's harassment to me. And then my son told me how his friend she has a lot of jewelry on, and they keep telling her, go back, go back. And it makes people late for class. That's harassment. There's a difference between doing your job and just going over the top. That's just like I used to work at Barclays and Yankee, and Barclays, they have the little do-do-do-do-do. But if I see that that person took everything out their pocket, why would I wand them? That makes sense? Like, that's just being extra for no reason. You know, and sometimes people do it because it's the adrenaline and they trying to just rush. But on Saturday, nobody was there. It was very empty. So that's what pisses me off. Like, y'all showing out. And then the white shirt wasn't even there. I could see if your boss is watching you, then yes. White shirt wasn't even there. So what are y'all doing? You know? I also wanted to talk about, I'm surprised I didn't talk about this, but on August 3rd, 2022, my son and I went on a cruise. So naturally, we took an Uber to get to the boat that left from Manhattan. So naturally, I did not wear no mask. At that point, nobody was wearing a mask. They had a thing that said you have to wear a mask in an Uber, but just in general, you know, Ubers don't bother people, right? This particular man, he was African, whatever. He tells me, now he sees that it's early in the morning, I have luggage, and I'm going to the boat. So common sense should tell you, okay, she's eating her breakfast. It's a bagel. I'm not gonna wait till I get to my destination to eat a bagel. It's gonna be cold, you know? So I'm eating my bagel, and he's like, please wear a mask. I'm like, I don't have one. I said, you see I'm eating, right? That's exactly how I said it to him. Because I felt like he was being rude. It's like, come on, why are you being extra? That's what I'm saying. If he would have been like, miss, can you please hurry up and eat that and then put on, you know, it's a way you say things, right? So I was rude back to him. I was like, you see me eating, right? So I took one piece, I promise you. He gave me the mask. I took one bite. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I took one bite, put on the mask, and he just keeps talking. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, so then at this point, I'm like, I'm going to report you because you still haven't pulled off. I did what you asked and you still murmuring, right? So he stops the car, like stops it. He gets out of the vehicle, which is vehicle abandonment, and he's walking away from me and my son, which we're the customers. So I think he called the cops because I heard the loudness. It sounded like an operator that said, is she black, white, whatever, referring to me. So he called the cops on me. And it's like, what are you doing? All because I said I was going to make a complaint on you? It just isn't. And it's like, we had a boat to catch. So once I realized he wasn't moving and he was like serious and being crazy, I was like, oh no. And it's crazy because before I even once I got in his cab, just his whole aura and vibe was off and something was telling me cancel. Something was just, and I didn't because who thinks that their Uber driver is going to act like that, right? So I get the next Uber because I don't have time for this. I get the next Uber, and even that next Uber driver, he's like, yo, that's crazy. You know, he had the shield in his car, first of all, between him and the customer, and he had on a mask. So why do I have to wear a mask too? And then when I put it on, he still kept talking. He was going on and on and on. And once he kept talking on and on and on, that's when I said, I'm going to report you. I didn't just say, I'm going to make a complaint and report you. I did it because he was just, it's like he wasn't on his meds. Like he was acting very irrational. It's like, and I said it to him. I said, if you that scared of COVID, you seriously need to stay home because that's ridiculous. Like, it's 2022. I could see if it was the height of the pandemic, 2020, that would make sense. But 2 years later, and nobody's wearing a mask,